Alrighty, so we're looking at the Clossi approach. Where am I weak? Where's my opponent weak? Where's the big move? And we're 20Q. So what do we learn at 20Qs? Cutting points, captures, and now that we're on the 19x19, bases. That's weakness. Nothing more, nothing less. Okay, open corners. Open, yeah, okay. To the kick, it's a Nobi. He makes a base, you make a base. Because 2 stones jumps over 3, 1 stone jumps over 2. So against the kick, you Nobi and block the Tiger's Mouth first, and then make your base. Because if you don't, I get to Tiger's Mouth and then pincer you. A little painful. You're stopping his extension, but he has a base in the corner, so it's not quite base. So it's better to just play big move. Big move. Big move. Something easier. But okay. Okay. Block. 1 point jump. 1 point jumps are the shapes that we can use at this level. 1 point jumps are our friend. So it's good movement. Don't Nobi unless you're bad on liberties. Or there's a cutting point. This is unnecessary. You already have a base. You already have a 2 stones jumps 3. So go play a big move. Open sides. Unnecessary move. Alright, so he goes in. So take the base. Perfect. Block. Yep. Block. Yep. And surround. This one, don't ever do this one. This actually helps your opponent because it forces them to make a Tiger's Mouth. When after they're surrounded, taking the Tiger's Mouth is a great way to take the vital point. Okay. So even if he walks, you can block with the Tiger's Mouth. So you don't care if he walks this way. So it's already pre-blocked. It's just 1 point. Surrounding is bigger. So blocking like this and forcing them to fix their cutting point actually helps them. So don't block like that. Just surround. Like here or here. Just cap. Okay. Turn. Okay. Knight's move is a little bit better. If we can get away with not touching until they're surrounded, it's better just not to touch, if we can. Like, it's not always the case, but in this case, there is an alternate move. Knight's moves, capping moves, those are our shapes. Caps are really powerful. Turn is okay. Oh, nice. He didn't even Tiger's Mouth. Perfect. Surround first, and now block. This one's unnecessary. Okay, so he's alive, because we want to look at the vital point. But maybe you're unsure. Maybe you want to ask. Maybe he just goes here. So, like, maybe you want to ask and say, hey, prove to me you're alive. But otherwise, you can be like, okay, he's alive. He has 2 eyes. Big move. Bam! And look at that. The fight went perfectly. The fight goes so perfectly. So you're actually playing it very, very well. You're not applying it every single move, but you're not expected to, like, right off the bat. But you're actually applying this really well. Probably, like, 8 out of 10 moves, you're doing it. So you're actually doing this really well. I think game reviews will help you do it better. Like, you can, of course, improve at doing it, but I like that you're doing it. Like, you're starting out correctly. And you're just going to improve at it by getting better shapes or getting better understanding or doing it more often. So you can definitely improve at it. So don't not improve, but you're doing this actually really well. For just starting out and just learning it, I think you're doing this really well. No, he doesn't have better basics than you. Don't worry. He's not single-digit Q basics, okay? He's doing really well at 20 Q basics. Don't worry, Sente. You're stronger than a 20 Q. Yeah, here, unnecessary. You already have the base right here. So, open side move. Open side, what are options? Extensions, enclosures, or approaches. There's no approach. So in this case, an extension would be perfect. This is 2 spaces, so that's more of a base than an extension. Alright, 3-3, so surround. Perfect, perfect. Don't Hane. Very big mistake. We gotta know this Joseki to play on 19x19. We learned this Joseki on 13x13. It's Nobi, and then 1 more Nobi. And if they keep crawling, you can Tanuki now, or you can just keep letting them crawl. But the Hane leaves cutting points. And now everything's getting cut. One cutting point is easy. Because if we Nobi and he cuts, bam, net. But what if he goes here? We just Nobi. And what do you recognize of that shape? It's the same as here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you see how 7 is at 3? It's the same idea. Same shape. The C3 still open for invasion? Maybe, but it's difficult and confusing and unnecessary. Yeah, here he actually can Atari and then kill the stone. This is a little bit not good. Why is it not good? Because defense first. There is a cut right here. And there's no ladder because there's an Atari. And if you go this way, there's an Atari. And you have two groups that do not have a base. So you need to go down, and then he goes up, and you need to make a base. Okay, you can go fourth line because you have support. But if you didn't have support, you go third line. You need to make a base. And then when you get chance, go on these 4 stones and also make a base. See? You need bases first. Defense first. This is a large Knights move. The shapes that we want to learn at this level are Knights moves and capping moves. And maybe Hane's. Large Knights move is too complicated for this level, so I would avoid it for now. Learn this at single digit Q. But a Knight's move, regardless of which one is a Knight's move, is an attacking move. Because Knight's move has cutting points, it has weakness. And one weakness is fine. One little bit of weakness is fine. But multiple weaknesses is really dangerous. So it's very, very, very easy for things to backfire when we are attacking with so much weakness. So if our opponent tries to defend by utilizing our weakness, which we learn at single digit Q, but maybe he accidentally does it, it can very, very quickly backfire. So defense first. Defense first. Yeah, you can defend this with a 1-point jump. Empty triangles have bad liberties, so they're not good shapes for defense. This is good. Expand your base. Don't cut with weakness. Nobi. Then you have the base here. You could also like check the corners, so that way you can block the empty triangle weaknesses. Okay. And then make your base here. Base, base. Now, once everything's alive, now we can attack with our 1-point jumps and Knights moves and capping moves, or whatever. Now we can do stuff. After we have bases, now we can attack. But we need bases first. That's kind of funny. Yeah, Tari and trap it against the edge. Kill the cutting stone. Here, this is a cutting stone. When you're dealing with something cutting off your groups, take the liberties. It's very important to take the liberties. This is when you touch. When you're attacking, you don't usually touch. But when you're in a capturing race, the liberties matter. So when trying to capture cutting stones, take those liberties. Because when he tries to escape or whatever, let's assume that there's an Atari and I block. Yeah, there's a cut right here, so whatever. But you see how quickly empty triangles have bad liberties? See how quickly these empty triangles lead to bad liberties? That's why empty triangles are bad shapes. But you see how important it is to keep his liberties low too, so that way you can keep the cutting stones dead. The stones that are cutting you off. Because either you make a base, or you connect to something with a base. That is good defense. But not touching is good offense, but you're playing defense right now. Big difference between defense and offense. Yeah, you see how white is super weak on the inside right now? He has one eye, he's getting surrounded. Very nice attack, but black is also dying. And so white's getting liberties like crazy, and black's not. So you're making it a capture race situation where you're not making liberties, you're just attacking your opponent. A little bit different mindset. Your attack is good, but you're supposed to be playing defense. Defense first. Defense first. Locally, it's throw-in to make it a false eye. And then just make life. And he's actually dead, because that's a false eye. And that's only one eye. Bent 3. Yeah, so this is the only way he lives, is by you playing on the outside. But, okay, surrounding is fine. No, you can actually kill him. You can actually kill him. You need more life and death problems. If you go right here, throw in. It's a false eye. Yeah. You need more go problems. Go problems are important to do every single day. It's one of those skills that you have to do it thousands of times to get good at it. So you may as well start with like 1 or 2 a day. You do it 1 or 2 a day for years, and you'll have done hundreds, if not thousands, of problems. Yeah, chance missed. And because you didn't kill him, well, okay. Because you didn't kill him if you place correctly, you're still dying on the inside. This is actually really dangerous for you. Yeah. This one is actually really bad. The reason this one's bad, because don't finish your attack and go type. This is actually something that takes a minute to get used to. But attacking needs to be Sente, unless you kill it. Okay? Killing should be secondary. It shouldn't be your main point. Your main goal should be to surround as much as you can in Sente. So let's think about this for a second. Why is that important? Why is that important? It's important because attacking is when we make positive exchange rates. So let's assume I play the biggest move on the board on the first turn. My opponent plays the second biggest move. I play the third biggest move. He plays the fourth biggest move. Okay? We're both exchanging big moves. And then he has Comey to make up for the advantage of going first. So the exchange rate is even. It's 0. Okay? But when you attack something, you are getting more points than they are, because they're trying to make eyes and get 2 points. Everything that you do is profit. As long as you get more than 2 points, even if it's just 3 points, it's profit. It's a positive exchange rate. Okay? So you surround it for free and still get to the next big move, and you can keep exchanging big moves. But if you can do something else for free, make a positive exchange rate for free, and then get back to exchanging big moves, you're up. You're positive. You're in the lead because of that attack. But defense is to prevent your opponent from making a positive exchange rate or too much of a positive exchange rate. So defense prevents a negative exchange rate for you. Offense is your positive exchange rate, and big moves is your even exchange rate. But if someone doesn't play big moves, that's the most positive exchange rate aside from something dying. So big moves are the most valuable moves unless something's dead, but not the most valuable exchange rate. Right. So attacking is the most profitable exchange rate, or the most positive exchange rate, but you have to do it for free and get to the next big move. Otherwise, if you attack and Gote and your opponent gets the big move, it cancels out all of your profit. Because a big move is big. That's why it's called a big move. So, exchanging big moves, equal exchange rate unless one player is better at it than the other. But it's the most valuable points-wise. So you want to make a positive exchange rate and then get back to the big moves as soon as you can. So that's why this one is not good, because he's already got 2 eyes. Why lose Sente? Yep. Yeah, and here you're not noticing your life and death problems. You can actually live in Sente here. Just go here. He has to live and live. And then you can play defense again, make some eye space, and run away. Maybe shoulder hit and run away. 1-point jumps are really nice. Shoulder hits and 1-point jumps are really nice. Just run away. Defense. Now this one is a diagonal. If you're attacking, this is the way to do it. Because it's capping, it's also a knight's move, it's very nice. It surrounds your opponent. But diagonals are really good for staying connected. So this tells me that maybe you're putting more emphasis on defense, which is good, which is what you're supposed to do, because you don't have a base. But, remember that large knight's move? You're actually not connected. So even though you're connected to that stone, you're not connected to the main group. So that's why shoulder hit or 1-point jump or something over here that stays connected to the main group. Stay connected in defense. You want to run away while staying connected. This is a mistake, but it's not obvious why. Peep. There. There. Because you're already alive. Technically speaking, you're alive. It's just 1 point for... It's 1 point in Sentai. Problem is, remember how that... I talked about up here, how blocking that 1 point gives your opponent good shape. It's the same principle here, technically. Not necessary for you to remember, but good habits are good habits. Good habits lead to... Whoa! Very, very, very bad move. Never fill your eyes. That's how you kill yourself. Never. If this is good habits to remember, this is bad habits to remember. Don't fill your eyes. That is not a false eye. You are not an Atari. If that was your second eye, you would have just killed your own group. Very, very, very big blunder. Don't do this. Very important for you to remember. If you take anything from this game, take this. Don't fill your eyes. Very, very big blunder there. Yeah. Unnecessary fix. Don't fix the cuts until they're activated. So, run away. If he cuts you here, you can just take the stone. If you have Miai, which means if he plays one, you play the other. If you have Miai, don't worry about it. Just run away. Do what you want. Do what you're supposed to do. You don't have to fix a second line cut if you can't be cut. So a little bit of a wasted move here, but like I said, most of your moves are actually on point. It's just a few of your moves aren't. You were happy with that move? If he fixed, assuming that cut didn't work. If he fixed and you fixed, that's good. Right? But if he's in Atari, he can't cut you. No. Oh, you were happy with this move. More go problems. Gotta do more go problems. This one, again, good offense, but bad defense. And defense first. I think probably you're in overtime at this point, because the quality of the moves is dropping. I think you're in overtime. This one doesn't really make much sense. I don't understand this one. Yeah, I don't understand what you're doing. It looks like you're surrounding a few points in the center. Don't surround a small center in Gote. Let's think about it this way. Let's use that quadrant example again. Doot-doot, doot-doot, doot-doot. Let's draw from the fourth line up and break the center into 4 quadrants. A Moyo is 2 quadrants. Okay? That's an influence. That's good. That's worth building. But 1 quadrant is way too small to build in Gote. Way, way, way too small to build in Gote. It's not enough points. Unnecessary. Okay, so I think I've given you enough to work with. Definitely, I recommend Go problems. I think it'll really be beneficial. If you want to improve, while you're trying to improve. If you're just playing for fun, you don't have to. But while you're trying to improve, you need to do Go problems every single day. Even if it's just 1 Go problem a day. It keeps your eyes trained to see liberties, to see cutting points, to see vital points every single day. Even if it's just 1 Go problem a day, every single day. Okay, so you need to do Go problems. More game reviews is definitely good because it looks like most of your moves are actually really good in basic-wise. But In the middle game, you tend to lose track of your defense, and so defense first is the thing that you need to work on the most. Defense first, and go problems. You're doing them every day? Yeah. But you have to do them every day for like a year or 2 years. So doing them every day for a week isn't going to make too much of a difference. But it's good that you're starting. You won't get to a year until you do it for a day. But the two big things is go problems and defense first. Defense first. That's the big one you're messing up a lot. And then other than that, game reviews. Get more game reviews because you are following the goal like 80% of the time. Or the first half of the game you were. The second half you're actually messing it up more than that. But the first half of the game you were at 80% of the time. And then 20% you were off, so you want to improve that. But at the second half of the game, you're actually starting to lose track. So it looks like in the second half, maybe you're in overtime or whatever. Your basics aren't at 80% yet. No, it's not as good as the first half. So you gotta work on keeping that consistency throughout the whole game. But yeah, defense first. That's the big one. Yeah. But hopefully this gives you some direction and gives you some good feedback. Defense first, though. That's the big one. Yeah, hopefully you found that helpful. All right, Christopher.